When when did Tony first, or again, I don't know if it was Tony or Shane or anyone first talk to you about actually doing a rotation where it would be the same thing every weekend? You know, you would get the second night every weekend for who knows how long it would be. How long it would be?
You know, personally, I think that it was more of like every weekend at the start, at least it was, we'll see how it goes. And then I think at that point, every weekend is different. And then they just make a decision. There has I don't think, at least to me, like they never came out and said like, we're doing a rotation. It's more of, we want both of you to keep playing well. So we're going to keep you guys both comfortable in that. And I think that's how it is. And I think we just found a system that works. And I don't really see any reason to divert from that kind of game plan. And that's just what we kept on doing. But I think after the next couple of weeks, then it was like, all right, this is what we're doing. But it was never like a sit down, like this is a rotation. It was more of just how it's going to go. And then we'll just see. And then after, 3-4 weeks of it, it's kind of just been how it is.
Tony said that he wanted to get both of you guys in a weekend way back before. It just never really worked out because whoever played the first game played so well that he felt like he had to go back with them. So it was almost, to him, it like forced him to do it. If he went with it this way, he couldn't, backtrack or second guess himself for that second game of a weekend. Is that, I guess, does it make any difference to you which game is which? Who plays the first game? Who plays the second game? I mean, you've obviously both done well in your roles, but is it easier one way or another?
No, I don't think so. I think each one of us, I mean, every game is different. It doesn't really, like I said, we talked about it. I had mentioned this to you earlier, like the games give you momentum or something to learn from, but the next day you wake up and it's a completely different game. And I think that I can't speak for Tony, I'm just kind of speaking out from what I see, but like we're just playing well in the situation that we're in, and it doesn't matter. A couple weekends ago, like Robbie played a really early game, and then I got the later game on the weekend, just how the rotation worked out. And now this week, I think it's going to be flip-flop. I think he's going to get the later game and I have the earlier one. And stuff like that where it really doesn't matter. I think both of us just have our routines to prepare the same way, and it doesn't matter who we're playing, when we're playing, or where. It's just, we just go out there and have fun and do our job. So
have you talked to Peter Menino about the years when he was in a rotation at Denver? And because that was a strict, one guy plays one night, the other guy plays the other night for a whole season, and right into the regionals. And Peter eventually got the call for the Frozen Four the year that Denver won it all. Have you guys ever conversed about that?
No, I was actually meaning to I was going to reach out to him today, actually. So I think it's pretty funny that you bring that up, but no, and I wasn't going to reach out to him about that either. I think we haven't really talked too much about that. I think I learned a lot from the whole, every game, like every day's a new day, every game's a new game. I learned that from Peter, and that was a big thing that he taught me. And I think that's probably kind of the mentality he had going into that as well. I think, rotation, it's great because both guys play, but a strict rotation like that, I think it gets kind of tough sometimes, because then like, all right, I'm definitely not playing this day. I think the way that it's set up here is it can go either way, and Tony makes the ultimate call. So you just got to be ready for whatever, gets thrown at you. And that's either way, we both know that we're going to perform on either day or whatever the situation is. So.
What Peter recruited you at Omaha originally, right? Am I remembering the timing on that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What was he like to play for as a head coach too? He's elevated himself throughout the hockey world the last few years, but what's he like as a head coach?
I think he's a great players coach. He's really good at getting down to the level of guys and just talking to them. I've known Peter for a while now. I met him actually about a year and a half before he was at UNO. So I've known him for a while, and it's funny how things work out that he was my head coach last year. But he understands what it's like to be at every level, and at the same time, he knows what it what it's like to win. You know, winning national championship with Denver and then winning the Clark Cup, and he was on staff with Chicago. I think he just knows what it takes to win, and I think that that's something that it's hard for guys. I know one of the big things I had to start with was learning that like it'll come with time. As long as you put in the work in, it'll come with time. And he's a great person, like an advocate of just trust the process, and like you'll see the rewards from it. And he's also just such a good team guy. Like he's lighthearted. He keeps guys loose. But he's serious when he needs to be. I think that he's just he understands the players well. And I think that that's why he's able to have relationships that he has, and, you know, guys love playing for him. And so he's just, he's a good guy. So.
How would you describe Robbie?
Robbie's a great guy. No, I love Rob. He's, you know, Robbie, I think he just comes in with he came with a lot of different experiences than what I had. And he knows what to do, and he knows how to prepare. He's a real pro in that aspect. And I think that's something I've learned from him, just watching how he dealt with practice every single day, even in summer, how things started. I think that he realized the opportunity that he had here, and he took it. And same, you know, that's just an overall lesson is once you get an opportunity, you make the most out of it. And he's done a great job of doing that. And, you know, all around, he's a great guy. I think him and I have a really good relationship. Sometimes when I get too serious or, you know, kind of lock up a little bit, he's there to just remind myself to have fun. And, you know, I like to do the same thing with him. I know he's in his zone, and we do our own things and have our own routine. So we respect that. I think that's like a goalie thing. You don't really want to mess with them too much and kind of conversate too much if they're trying to get in the zone. But it's good to have that a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of fun right before you get on the ice or go out for warm-ups or something, just to kind of tap the pass, be like, all right, like, let's play with swagger, let's have fun. And I think we both appreciate just that little moment of a little bit of calm. But no, just going to work every day, just watching the way he competes in practice. He takes actually every rep of every practice. And I think that that's kind of insane. So it's just someone to look up to, which is great. And he just loves to work. He just loves to work. And I think that that's really what's given him so much success this year. And, you know, if anyone trusts the process, it's going to be that guy. And he's a great student too. He's a great guy off the ice. And so, yeah.
A healthy competition, right?
Yes.
I mean, ultimately, you know, if you want to reach your main goal as a team, if you two guys are bickering each other about who's playing and who's not playing, or not backing each other, you're in trouble.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that that's, you know, especially in what we've been doing for the last, you know, I don't even know how long it's been, at least the last 4 weeks or something with the rotation. Like, we both know that whoever's in net is going to get the job done. We fully support them. You know, whoever Tony calls on to put it between the pipes that night, they're going to be ready to go, and we want them to succeed. And I think that's been huge, you know. And I've had some goalie partners where it's been, like you said, where it's been kind of, you don't want them, like they've been complaining about the net and saying, why not me and stuff like that. But that's never happened for any of us. And I think that that's been huge, because you know that they're going to support no matter what. And even on the nights where I have an off night, or, you know, same, like vice versa, like the other guy's going to go in and get the job done and just compete and give the team the best chance to win. And yeah, healthy competitive environment that's where you really bring out the better side of people, and, you know, a different level that even you maybe didn't even realize that, you know, you had. And like watching Robbie take every rep of practice, like, to see that guy do it, like I don't think I thought I could do that, but now seeing that pretty much all year down the other side, I know next year I'm going to give it my best shot and see how I can pull that off. But you know, yeah, healthy and competitive environment is what makes this team, this unit that we have here, so great.
So when you're saying he's going there for every rep, you know, I mean, Garrity doesn't go in and take over for him. He's staying in one goal. He's anchored in there all practice.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, Garrity and I switch off.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it started out as like we were going at the start of the year, like we were trying to figure it out. You know, you're trying to figure out the system, how things, what guys like, and you're just trying to respect each other. And then it got to the point where whoever was on Robbie's side just never went in net. So then I was like, well, I'm not going to go down there if I'm not going to get any shots. And then eventually Benny and I just kind of looked at each other. We're like, might as well just switch with each other because, but that's, yeah. And, Robbie mentioned something to me about it. He was just like, I really appreciate it. And just the way that he looked at it was more of like, I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to have moving forward, which I think is also a great way at any point in your career to look at something like that. And, that's really when I understood where he was coming from. Before then I was kind of like, all right, he's just, I don't know. I can't get it in his head. But after he kind of came up to me and said that, I was like, okay, I understand where he's coming from. And that's a lot more wholehearted way of looking at it. I think that's why he just loves being in the net, and he's not trying to be like, this is my net. Like, don't switch with me. Like, that's not it at all. He just loves being in the net and loves competing. That for him, it's just, it's the best thing he does all day. That's what we live for. That's what we wake up in the morning to do. And I think for him to be in net, that's just his opportunity to do what he loves to do. And so, yeah, when he takes every rip from practice, yes, he does.
Cam, I talked to an NHL goalie scout. This was maybe a month ago, and discussing your demeanor. And he said, you just talked about Robbie's compete level. He said, well, Cam is maybe almost over competitive sometimes, and that's maybe hurt him in the past. So do you recognize that as something you have to cope with and kind of turn it and use it to your advantage?
Yeah. And I think that's been something I've been trying to rein in, because everyone talks about how good it is to compete and work hard. And then like you said, I've talked to people that are like, how about you dial it back a little bit? And it's like, well, this doesn't make any sense, and I think that's something that kind of didn't hurt me, but it took me a while to understand and make that switch. And I think this year is really the first year where I've actually learned to harness it a little bit and kind of play a little bit more calm on my feet, a little bit more patient. Because growing up too, like I didn't, fun fact about me, I didn't have a goalie coach until I was like 15 years old or something like that. So up until that point, I started playing goalie around I was 8. So up until that point, I was just kind of watching highlights and doing my thing. I didn't have anyone to really teach me the technical side or kind of tell me like, this is how you're supposed to play. I was just playing goalie. And I think that's helped me, because I learned how to play the position rather than how to be a robot, pretty much, and I think you're right. I actually got a text from someone after our last game, and the text, was very similar along those lines, where like, you looked really good and you look like you're starting to control the athleticism that you have, and just kind of, you're way more patient. And I think that's really something that's been big this year, and it's helped me a lot. But, last year was really frustrating. Peter did a good job of trying to teach me that too. And because, he's been there, he knows what it's like, and there's no one else to teach you other than a successful goalie. But, I was really frustrated with that and just trying to rein that in. And, I really started getting taught that when I started at NTDP, but you're still young. You're just trying to figure it out, and you're just having fun. And last year was frustrating, but this year is starting to click. So yeah, I think that's something I'm trying to work on every day. Like everything we talk about when I work with Shane, and we talk about staying a little bit more compact and just kind of keeping things together and not going in that scramble mode so quick, which is just, like you said, kind of dialing back that, not dialing back the compete level, but dialing back the, like the, oh crap moments of like, all right, let's, there's other ways, there's more technicals, a little bit more calm and actually easier ways to play this rather than just, battling for it. But I don't think that battle or compete in me is ever going to go away. And I don't want it to either, because that's been a huge part of my game and why I've gotten to this point.
Can you talk a little bit about your goaltending journey in Chicagoland? Were you a full-time goalie right off the hop? Was it kind of transitory? And then I know you played with CYA, I saw, and then going into who your goalie coach was.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, growing up, you play, I know in Chicago, in Wilmette, it's the town I'm from. You just play like house league hockey. When you're like 5, when I was 5, that's when I started playing like organized hockey. And I was a defenseman. And I just played that. And then at that point, you're just like rotating through goalie. Like there's no one that plays goalie. It's just kind of like, just like 3-on-3 mini rink type of hockey, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, but it wasn't until I was about 8. It was like spring. I was either turning 8 or I was turning 9. I can't really remember. But it was like the spring season, which was only like 12 games. And I was like, yeah, like I want to try it, because I played a couple games that past season in house league as a goalie. And my dad was like, all right, like if this is what you want to do, like this is the perfect time to try it out. And we found just some pads literally in the basement of the rink and that fit. And, played after the first game. I think I pretty much told my dad, like, this is what I'm doing from here on out. And, ever since then it just stuck. I played for the Wilmette Braves, which is like our local team, until Squirt Major, where I played for CYA for 5 years. My first year of U16s, I played for Team Illinois. And my first goalie coach was Ryan Honick with GDI. He was my first like legitimate, this like working in the summer type of goalie coach. Other than that, it had just been like a couple of guys with, camps in the summer when I was a younger kid. So you go for like a week and just to get on the ice in the middle of July. But Ryan Honick was the first guy that I actually like started to actually learn from.
Were you always one of the biggest kids on your team? Some goalies struggle with that burst of growing till their athleticism has to catch up a bit. Did you ever have to experience that?
No, I was always a big kid. I used my size to my advantage. A couple times I think I was like second or third biggest on the team. And I think that for me, that was actually really helpful. Just in the way that I play. It's really interesting too, because the way that people always say, like, oh, you have so much size that you need to utilize it more. Like I already think I'm big enough and I need to play a certain way. And sometimes, growing up, I didn't think I was as big as I was. So that was kind of something I had to adjust to a little bit, just kind of staying more upright and using my body a little bit more instead of just reacting to everything. But
I know, just one last one. I know your dad has an athletic name, Rocky Rowe. Did he play sports? What did he play?
Yeah, he was kind of dabbled in a little bit of everything. He played soccer growing up as a kid. He never played hockey. He grew up in a family that he's from. I grew up in Michigan. I went to like Novi High School in Michigan. And he was a huge Red Wings fan. So like they listened to the games on the radio all the time, and he kind of grew up with the sport and just had a knack for it, but never had the opportunity to play. But I mean, he kept himself busy. He played soccer. I know he did stuff in college, not at like our level, more just like intramural stuff, I think. He works hard, but just never had the same opportunities. He started skating when he met my mom taught him how to skate. So their first date actually was open skate at Yost Ice Arena. So wow. That's so that win was pretty special for me when we played them a couple weekends ago. They were there for that, which is pretty cool. So my mom taught my dad how to skate, and then they moved to Chicago before I was born. He joined a beer league there, and he's been playing there ever since. And I think now he might be the oldest guy on his team, longest tenured player on the team that he's on. But yeah, I mean, he loves it. With COVID, he hasn't skated in, I think, almost a year now, because everything's been shut down in Chicago still. But I mean, he was skating roughly like 3 times a week with his team. He just loves the sport.
So did I ask about the wrong parent? Is it your mom who's the athlete?
My mom was a figure skater growing up, same thing. Grew up in a hockey family. Her dad played competitive hockey, and it was just kind of I was the firstborn, so pretty much that they were like, well, what else are we gonna do? So they threw me on skates and just saw how it went.
Where's your mom from?
Grosse Pointe, Michigan.
Grosse Pointe.
And then they both went to U of M together.
And then are you Blackhawks versus your dad's Red Wings, or did he convince you to cheer for the Motown squad?
Well, my first couple of pictures of me on ice, I'm in a Datsuk jersey. So the Red Wings got a soft spot in my heart. But I mean, growing up in Chicago, when they win in 10, 13, and 15, you get turned around real quick. especially being in the United Center. I mean, that place is insane. I still think that the national anthem, when they cheer through it at the start of the game, I still think that's the coolest thing in any sporting event I've ever been to. But yeah, I think definitely a Hawks fan. We have a lot of Red Wings stuff in our basement at home, so I'm kind of split both ways.
Cool.